America, for every bomb you drop, you need to bring in food for the people. How are we going to get the medicine in to the hospitals inside of Palestine, inside of Japan, when America was doing that? No. America, you know how many people America killed, the USA killed in Japan, roughly in World War II?
I should know this, but
over 1 million people.
Yeah.
Right? They're predicting over 1 million people. I mean, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the firebombing of Tokyo killed hundreds of thousands of people at a time. Why does Israel have to live up to a different standard? I'm going to tell you, if Canada came into America and drove to Wabick, Minnesota, and took 258 people prisoner and killed 1,000 more, what would we do to Canada?
Well, is it under the current administration or the previous administration?
I don't get it. I don't get it. And my little monkey brain says all of those military combatants that were in Israel attacking people on October 7th, Israel captured them.
Yep.
And now we're giving them back at 100 to 1. We're saying these 100 killing attackers are the equivalent of a person you took hostage at a music festival. Not true, right? Not true. Right. They're valuing those soldiers at 100 times more important than one hostage.
Okay, but then, let's flash back even further. Let's bring Russia into the mix. Remember the trade that we made with Russia way
for the
back
Merchant
when?
of Death?
The Merchant of Death.
That was a shitty trade.
I agree. But again, at that time, it was, and again, did I agree with it? Probably not. But it was what it took to free essentially an innocent woman who just so happened to have, what was it, a TCH pen or
Brittany
whatever?
Griner.
Brittany Griner. And so,
innocent woman.
Right.
Have you seen Brittany Griner? I'm gonna call her by a different name.
No, don't do that. Let me save you.
Hey, but there's other people stuck
I agree.
In Russia.
I agree.
Brittany just happened to be famous, so she got out.
And it was clearly a PR move by the Biden administration.
Yes,
It 100% was. And
right?
Russia, yes.
So, okay, here's the way that it would. Remember that beeper thing that the Israelis did? Where they put the little bombs in the beeper?
Yeah.
Do you think they said, with these couple thousand terrorists that they captured, do you think they said, let's feed them something that puts them to sleep for a little while, and then let's insert something that we can track where they are?
Okay.
I mean, if you had to write the story about the beeper attack, people wouldn't believe it.
That's true.
If you put it in a movie, they'd say that could never happen.
Right.
And then followed up with, oh, by the way, they're walkie-talkies that they thought were fine. Like, oh, we'll just have to use these walkie-talkies, and then they blow up. Do you think the Israelis, I think the Israelis might be bright. Do they want to allow 2,000 terrorists to just go back? Are they happy with a 100 to 1 prisoner ratio? Like we have these prisoners, not these kidnapped victims, and we're giving you 100 prisoners of war back. These people that attacked peaceful Israelis on October 7th. Do you think the Israelis wouldn't say, let's put radioactive iodine or something in their bloodstream, so when they go to an airport, we have this little device that goes beep, 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 beep. There's one of them. There's one of them. I just don't get it. Why?
Wouldn't that violate a lot of war/trade agreement type of thing? Wouldn't that?
They violated it.
That's
Reavers.
true. Yeah, that's
They
true.
violated every conventional rule of war when they went to a music festival and murdered and raped people at the music festival. Jumped from took paragliders in or whatever they were using.
It was brutal and it was awful.
It was brutal.
And the thing is, don't get me wrong. I have zero sympathy for Hamas. I mean, less than zero sympathy for Hamas. But again, I'm just going to go back to, if this is what it's going to take, then unfortunately, this is probably what it's going to take. And the thing is now that there's so many changes that have happened with designations and all of those things, if they all of a sudden, and I'm talking about Hamas now, if they violate those peacetime agreements, they've got a giant, bigger set of problems on their hands.
I don't know if Israel shouldn't violate. This is what people are saying, not me. That they shouldn't violate the treaty. They shouldn't violate the treaty, the war stoppage. They should say, hey, thanks for our 20 hostages back. We'd love these other 28 that are dead that you buried randomly in your country and you can't find. That's why they can't return them. And they should go after Hamas still. They should say, watch this. We're not done. And every single person who said October 7th was a good idea to break into people's homes, rape the mother, and light the father on fire is going to be gone off the face of the earth. That doesn't seem, I can't get on their side. I can get on the Palestinian side. A random kid living in Palestine, it's not his fault. But Hamas, this group of men that are just horrific.
Do you remember? So this would have been roughly 2 years ago after this had all unfolded. And we had a professor, sorry, not a professor, a rabbi on our show who I believe had previously published a couple of books. Michael Barclay, as I believe what his name was. Mm-hmm. And I remember calling him to reach out to him to get him on to the show.
Sure.
And so I had a 45-minute phone conversation with him before we even booked him on GL. Sure. And just a brilliant, very smart guy. And then I've not that I was vetting him, but just thought, okay, sure, he's going to be a great guest. And then we had him on the show. And, for Joe, if Joe doesn't know who the guest is, it's a very short leash, right? Sure. So I've got to tell him, okay, this is what I talked to him about, and I think this is the avenues you can go down, blah, 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 blah. And I go, I really think you'll enjoy the conversation. And we had him on for 40 minutes, whatever it was. And I'll never forget him saying this. And Joe asked him point blank, if you are in Israel, right? And again, Rabbi Michael Barclay was from Israel. Mm-hmm. He now teaches, I forget at what university here in the United States. And he basically said, he said this very thing at the very end, or towards the end of the conversation. And Joe asked him point blank, what would you do if you were in charge of the Israeli forces? And he said, Hamas needs to be destroyed.
Destroyed.
And he said, I say that with as much empathy as a human being. Mm-hmm. They have to be destroyed because there is no negotiating with that particular group.
It's a poisoned,
not Palestine, Hamas.
Yes, not Palestinians, but the people that they voted, Hamas. It's a poisoned mindset.
Yep.
It's a poison. Remember that that audio I think we played on the show of the young guy, a young man, 18, 20, 30, 25 years old, calling his parents, telling them about the attack on October 7th. And he says, Mom, Dad, get Dad on the phone. Get Dad. I killed 11 of them. And he was gleeful.
As if he had hit a home run in a Little League game.
It was, and the mom was like, where are you? Get back home, right? Because she was afraid for him. And she's like, and the boy was like, why? Why would I get back home? I just did it. I won the Super Bowl. And I thought, okay, that's a mindset that you might not be able to get past.
And it can be fixed.
And if you had 2,000 of them in captivity and you traded for these 20 people, important people, they had to get back. I get it. You're going to just let 2,000 of them walk out and potentially attack your country again? I don't believe Israel would do that. I believe somehow they planted, I'm air quoting, pagers in these people. Right? The concept of the pager, the concept of a way to track these people again, because you just won't say, I'd hope that the United States wouldn't just say, let's release 2,000 terrorists in the United States. I don't think we'd do that. Right?
Well, they might already be here.
Well, yeah, but not 2,000 terrorists that we captured that said they wanted to wipe us off the face of the earth. And, when you look at other wars, great example, World War II, and other wars where millions of people were slaughtered for much smaller things, where we did not go and rebuild Russia. Right. Germany did not rebuild Russia. Russia did not rebuild Germany. The United States, we did. That's why it got us back into World War II, because we were trying to help Germany rebuild after World War I, kind of. But I just don't get, during the actual war, why are people on Israel's ass to get food for Palestinians? I don't get it. Do I want Palestinians to die? No, I don't. But why are we bringing in 800 trucks a day of food sources for a country that we're in a war with? I just don't get it. I'm so glad it's over.
Right.
I really am glad. I think it's a...
But think about that. If it's, and now, again, no matter what he does, there are just a certain section of our society that's going to hate everything that President Trump does. But think if he's able to solve this conflict, and now he's meeting with Zelensky and he's able to fix that conflict in less than a year of becoming president again, that's pretty damn impressive.
You know who he's going to fix next, don't you? Venezuela.
Think so?
Because he wanted to win the Nobel Peace Prize, and the chick from Venezuela won it, right?
Right.
And she said, who I really need to dedicate this to is Donald Trump. And Trump said that she had said that. Then she went ahead and said it, right? She said that out loud. And now, to be a magnanimous guy, he's going to say, you know what, Toots? Thank you for saying that about me. I should have won the Nobel Peace Prize. We're going to go ahead and cure Venezuela. Bet you $100 that he does.
I'm not taking that bet.
Because he'll say, oh, you think you're doing something? Watch what I can do.
Yeah.
And then you can hand me your Nobel Peace Prize.
His name is Mike Fratelloni. My name is Chris Reavers. This is the Weekly Scramble Podcast, and we will be right back. You ready?
Yeah, but I want to be referred to as something different.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Are we ready?
Yeah.
I want to be referred to as something else. Great thinker, Mike Fratelloni.
Oh, is that your
Mike,
new designation?
The great thinker,
Here, hold on.
Fratelloni.
Let me add this to the old.
I don't know.
spreadsheet.
I'm getting. Maybe this isn't a popular opinion. I just can't fathom this happening in the United States.
Of
Why
course
are we
not.
holding them different?
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let me throw this at you.
Okay, let's do
Because
it.
this
Throw
is
it
one of
to
the
me.
other things that I wanted to bring up today. I don't know if you've been traveling a little bit with work and the girls and whatnot, and I don't know if you've seen this yet.
Oh, tell me.
But it was a mashup of a video. This surfaced, I think, last Friday. And it's almost as if another talking point memo went out to all of the talking heads that continue to defend certain fabrics of the Democratic Party. And it's, you know what? I'm now done with the whole both sides argument because it is so blatantly clear and blatantly obvious that one party is controlled by whoever the puppet master is. And I would play it for you, but I'm having some playback issues with my computer today. But it was talking about
teasing. That's mean.
But it was talking about how, quote unquote, Antifa doesn't exist.
Sure.
And I'm sure if you've paid 1 second of attention via social media, you've seen at least something. And of course, it started with the chief Democrat talking head, Jimmy Kimmel.
Sure.
So it's basically, do you remember during COVID how this same thing where all of these news outlets, so let's just say it's the CBS outlet in Houston or the ABC outlet in Kansas City or the NBC outlet in Charlotte, whatever. And it was the exact same storyline and the exact same verbiage repeated throughout all of these news outlets verbatim.
It was just the same news story that they just read over and over. Do you remember where this kind of first started? And I can't remember who they were describing. I think it might have been President Clinton. And they said, he just carries himself with such gravitas. Do you remember that word?
I don't.
Oh, there's a great mashup.
I'm going to have to look that up.
If you look up the word gravitas, because that's a unique word. Not everybody uses gravitas, right? And this mashup was 90 different news sources saying, and then President Clinton steps off the plane and waves his hand with great gravitas.
Okay.
And you're like, wait, how the hell? I mean, wouldn't somebody recognize that that's said in Houston and Alabama and Omaha and every single news outlet says the exact same damn thing?
By the way, Omaha, very underrated city.
You like that?
I do love Omaha.
Has a nice little downtown.
It is a very cool downtown. So I didn't mean to get you
big
sidetracked.
digression, but let's digress. Omaha pisses me off.
Why?
Because it's better than St. Paul, and it's frickin' Omaha. If St. Paul can't get its shit together,
right.
So Omaha kicks our ass. Omaha, Nebraska.
Right on the river there.
It's stupid.
Very cool.
It's a stupid place.
You don't like
stupid
it?
people.
I think it's a
The
cool
only
city.
stupider people then are from Omaha are the ones that live in St. Paul, who live in a dump because we have such shitty politicians and we can't have a nice little downtown area.
We can't have nice things.
God, it just pisses me off.
Oh, I didn't know
God,
praising
I'm just
Omaha.
in a pissed off mood.
I was going to say, I didn't know praising Omaha was going to get you this fired up.
We just have such lack of decent leadership. We can't have you know what we need to do?
Hold on. Go ahead.
Real quick, we need to open up West 7th from the Excel Energy Center. I don't care what it's called now. It's Excel. I don't give a crap who bought the new naming
You are
rights.
really fired
Go
up.
down to Grand Avenue where Grand comes down in the city. And we need to open up that road where you can walk and drink, where you can walk outside and carry a drink. And you can walk around the bars.
Want to completely eliminate the driving portion?
Don't even care. Eliminate it if you want.
All right.
But what I can do is walk outside of one bar and walk down to the next.
Okay.
We need to do something in this town to light light a fire under us.
I will agree that something drastic needs to. Okay, so then 2 parts then, and I promise I'm going to get back to what I started.
Just letting me rant.
I didn't mean to get you going in any way. I really, and sometimes I do try, but I didn't today
I'm
at all.
Have an aneurysm.
So two quick things. Have you watched A Precarious State
Not
yet?
yet.
And
I don't want to get that mad.
But number 2, so A Precarious State, we've talked about it at length on the Garage Logic podcast, done by Rick Kupchella, and it was aired on our partners downstairs at KSTP. But an even more important one for you specifically, Randy Meyer from Fox 9 did one of those sit down, not town halls, but he talked to leaders in St. Paul.
Sure.
It's available online. I did watch it, and Randy did a phenomenal job with it. But I thought of you right away when I watched that.
I can't take it, Reavers.
Because
it makes me want to frickin' cry.
Well, that's exactly what happened to me watching A Precarious State. I got about 11 minutes in. I went, I'm getting angry. I can't. But I had to keep watching it because I knew we were going to talk about it on the show. So I had to make myself watch it.
It's the frustration that the answers are so obvious. So obvious. It's not hard. You stop crime. The guy who's been arrested 40 times, you put him in jail and say, we'll see you in 100 years.
Right.
But it's only petty crime. I don't give 2 craps.
It's not that complicated.
If you're doing it 100 times, you're done.
Well, and
you are not a member of society anymore.
It's such a systemic issue in the fact that this all starts at such a young age where if a child doesn't face discipline, and I am not talking about beating a child. I have never raised a hand to either one of my kids. However,
I've seen some kids that should be beat.
But my point is, if a kid doesn't face any consequences from an early age, they're never going to improve their behavior.
So you think spanking should be allowed?
No, again, I just said I never have once raised a hand to either one of my children.
Sure.
But I have said there are rules and there are standards in this house. And you're either going to abide by them or you and I are going to have a problem. Sure. And the thing is, you establish that right away. And once in a while, you got to raise your voice when they act up. But for the most part, a kid's going to realize, oh, yeah, I can't get away with that.
But the vast amount of troubled children have no dad in the house.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. And that is a big, big problem in
should
a
they
lot
have
of
nuns
cities.
at school that give them a spanking?
Well, but you're even having a hard time getting anyone that wants a job in a school right now.
Sure.
That's the other big problem that we're facing. Okay, I digress. We were talking about the Clintons, Gravitas. No, we were talking about Gravitas and the Clintons.
Yeah, we were talking about your concept of this news story is going around. Who's writing the news story where they say the exact same thing?
The thing that's funny about this is, these news outlets and, again, whoever the grand puppet master is that's orchestrating all of this, well, you could get away with this in the 1980s, the 1970s, and the early 1990s. You could get away with a lot of that. However, now that the internet exists, now that social media exists, you ain't getting away with that, at least from the people that are trying to pay attention. Those of you that still gather most of your news from conventional means, well, not that you're being lied to, but you're being manipulated. It's just that simple.
Do you think it's a function of big time news no longer has money, so they pick up a story from Reuters, and every blue moon the Reuters story has the word gravitas in it, and people say, wait, time out, I don't usually use the word gravitas, so I noticed it. Let's see how many times gravitas has been used, because we can search that online in 2 seconds.
Probably.
And you find out that 700 stories were the exact same across America.
Well, again, you can pull up any number of these stories that have had this very same dynamic where it's basically, you've got the stern anchor and the other, it's the same setup, just in a different scenario in all of these different cities, and it's the same message, right? This isn't something that they're coming up with. It's the Ron Burgundy theory. Like, he'll read anything you put in front of him in the teleprompter.
Yeah, I'm not blaming the news readers. They're not news people. They're reading the news. They're not writing the news, right? In many cases. So they're just reading the next AP story or whatever story they're buying from the news outlet, right? Is that not right?
Well, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking you can't really blame them. They're not saying, oh, you want me to read this? Okay, well, I'm just going to read it.
I'm going to share a story with you.
Tell me.
So this is years ago. I was not working for this company. I was working for a different company that I'll go nameless at this point.
Okay.
And we were doing a morning show, and the main two hosts were not working for, I believe it was a couple days. In fact, it might have even been MEA week, which is this week. And so we had another person person that's on the air filling in to do the morning part. And then we had a local news personality who does not work in this market anymore. In fact, I don't even know if this person still works at all. And this person came in, and this person looked at me and said, "Where's my script?" And I said, "I'm
What? Wait, what?
I'm sorry." Well, normally I get a script when I do the news. And I said, "Well, you can just do news. I don't have a script for you. This is radio.
Sure.
That's not how we operate."
Oh.
Oh, I wasn't told that. And I went, "Well, just, you could talk
tell
on
a
the
news
air.
story, yeah.
Just read I can print out a news story for you." But it was as if I had said, "Hey, the sun is blue."
Oh, and they had no concept.
no idea how to react to that. And I went, huh. And this was, again, long time ago.
Sure.
This person doesn't work in the market anymore, but I just thought, wow.
It doesn't mean you can't expect a news anchor to be a newsman, right? They're not going hustling down stories.
Capcella is.
Yeah, I guess, right?
And I think, and honestly, he said this on the show when he came in and talked to Joe. That was part of his frustration, was that he didn't just want to be a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
He did want to actually report on stuff.
I guess I'm picturing there's reporters that go out in the field, and then there's anchors that kind of, bring those reporters in and say, "Okay, reporter, tell the story."
You almost start on the street, boots on the ground,
Sure.
and then work your way up to being an anchor.
Yeah.
At least, I don't know anything about how the progression is in TV news, so I don't want to speak like I do know.
Take the advice from Mike and Chris on the Weekly Scramble podcast.
Yes.
And you could just know that we don't know everything, but we're sincerely trying.
Yes.
And we don't want to study. We're not going to read articles because those are long,
Yep.
but we'll listen to them, and then we'll regurgitate that information.
So I think what you are trying to say is there's an outlet that has the inverse of what our show should be. You report, we decide.
Yes.
Hey, let's talk about We Are Nuts.
I love that place.
And wearenutsmn.com. If you are in charge of corporate holiday gifting this year, well, then listen up. Don't be the person that sends another branded coffee mug. No, be the hero who sends toffee peanuts. That's right. I'm talking about We Are Nuts MN. Locally roasted, family owned, and dangerously good. Their corporate gift tins are fresh, festive, and unforgettable. Whether you're thanking clients, I got to take these glasses off because I can't read my copy. Whether you're thanking clients, rewarding employees, or just spreading cheer, then they've got you covered. You can visit their website, wearenutsmn.com, and you can download the corporate gifting catalog that's right there on the homepage, and you can pick your tins. Cashews, mixed nuts, chocolate almonds, hokey pokey popcorn, even the famous 4, and then send them your gift list. They'll pack, personalize, and ship each tin, even with custom enclosure cards featuring your logo and message. That's right. Go online, wearenutsmn.com. I know it's hard to think about the holiday season right now.
Yeah, do it right now.
But you got to place your delivery. If you want it by Thanksgiving, you got to have your order in by October 17th. And if you want it by Christmas, it's November 14th. wearenutsmn.com, or call them directly at 612-781-6596. The Weekly Scramble. We will be right back. It sucks. I can't see out of these glasses anymore with the fine print. That's because I'm getting old and my body's falling apart. And all right.
The gravitas thing was to describe George's Bush, that he lacked gravitas.
Gotcha.
Right? And it was used hundreds of times.
Tell me that when we get back.
No.
Ready? What'd you find out about gravitas?
I looked up that story about gravitas, and it was used to describe President George Bush not having gravitas. They're like, oh, he lacked gravitas. And it was used over 100 times in local news stories. So somebody just on the exact same day picked up the word gravitas times 100 news outlets in the United States.
Wow.
I find that a little suspicious.
Interesting.
The kids might say sus. Do you like that?
The abbreviation thing is really starting to get me because I now have a soon-to-be... William's going to be 14 in a couple of weeks.
Do they use this 6'7"? Have you heard them say 6'7"?
What
yet?
does that mean?
Have you not heard that?
No.
Okay, parents, listen up.
Gather around.
Kids these days have this thing, they say 6'7", right? You can't tell if it's 6'7", you can't tell if it's 67, but they say the word 6'7", and you'll say, hey, I just got some ice cream at the store. It was Tutti Frutti root beer. And they're like, 6'7". But you don't know what it means.
What the hell does that mean?
No one knows. No one even knows the genesis of 6'7". And so I've been putting in our social media posts. We're doing that Find It After Ads where we're giving away.
Yep.
Okay, wait, let me say this real quick. Can I do a quick thing for Fratellonies?
Yeah.
So we're giving away 20 Toro battery-powered lawnmowers. Today is the third day, right? If you follow Fratellonies on social media, you see the post where I do a video showing where I'm hiding this golden ticket in our stores.
Okay.
So actually, today's the fourth one. We're giving away the fourth one today. So we have, 16 more to go, right, including today. And in some of my things that I'm doing these videos for, I say I'm hiding this 6-7 feet away, and I throw in 6-7 because it's going to drive kids crazy. Not with thinking I'm cool. It's going to drive them crazy thinking, what an old loser. And I'm going to say, yup, I'm stealing your words. I'm stealing your riz. That's another word that they use.
So remember how outraged you were earlier in the show?
Pretty much all my life.
By a couple of different things?
Yep.
Because you just introduced this term to me, I am now outraged.
Okay.
I am on the AI overview. I just simply put in, what does 6-7 mean? And then it asked me slang, and I said, sure. What the hell do I care? Okay, Reavers, calm down. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. 6-7 is a slang term used by Gen Alpha that is nonsensical and has no single meaning. However, it originates from the viral song Doot Doot by Skrilla and is also associated with the 6'7" height of basketball player LaMelo Ball. The phrase is often used to fill conversational space and is sometimes accompanied by a hand motion. The term comes from the recurring lyric 6-7 in the songs Doot Doot by rapper Skrilla. The phrase is intentionally nonsensical and its meaning varies, sometimes being used as a placeholder or a way to inject humor. Some believe it can also be used to mean so-so or around this many, often accompanied by a hand motion. However, its primary purpose is to be a funny, meaningless soundbite that can be said often for no reason.
So parents, start saying it to your kids. And say it like, how was school today? And they'll say, it was great. And they'll say, how was work, Dad? And you say 6-7.
I got to tell you.
And that will drive them nuts.
I'm sure there were things and phrases that I used when I was a teenager that drove my parents crazy. But don't you think so much of this stuff is just us getting dumber and dumber and dumber?
I think we're the dumbest we've ever been.
It's not even close.
I think it's not going to matter.
But I also will say this, and I was not going to bring this up, but it reminded me of something that I wanted to tell you, and I might as well do it on the show. Why not? As much doom and gloom as we try to project on both the Garage Logic podcast and in some cases on our show, there are almost these tiny little rays of hope where you say, okay, we're not in so much trouble.
Give me an example.
I will.
Okay. Just even
last Friday. So I was going to take my sons to the Jordan football high school game. Let's go get them. I think we were playing Foley. Beautiful night, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely picture perfect night to go watch high school football. So right before that, we have brand new next door neighbors, and they've been living there for a couple of months now. Great family. Mm-hmm. And their kids happen to be a little bit older. Their daughter, I think, is a sophomore or junior high school, and their son is 19, 20 years old. Okay. So he's done with high school. Both great kids.
Sure.
And so right before we were about to leave, this is about 6 o'clock. And
6-7?
6-7.
See, you could have used it right then.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, go ahead.
And so it was him and a bunch of his buddies just hanging by the car. And he said, and he knows who I am, what I do. Sure. And he says, hey, Chris, what's up? I go, hey, man, how are you? And I went to go get the mail, which is right by where they were standing. And they said, well, it was been really fun to get to know you. I'm like, oh, what? Are you moving out? And he said, well, not exactly. Listen to this. This kid, 20 years old, was packing up his Jeep.
Okay.
He was on his way to drive to Maine.
All right.
And I thought, oh, that's kind of cool.
You wanted to go with him,
I thought, I'd love to make that drive. And because he had said, I know you've talked about driving across, whatever. And he said, yeah, I'm driving to Maine. And then after that, I'm having my Jeep shipped. I'm going to ride in this cargo ship. And I'm going to Southeast Asia or wherever the hell he was going to go. And I'm thinking,
what?
Are you joking? He said, no, I want to take my Jeep and I want to explore. And I went, That's insane.
That is pretty cool.
And I said, and I'm so jealous of you right now.
Yep.
So I was curious, and I said, well, how long is it going to take you to get there? He said, well, to Maine. I go, no, I know how long it's going to take you to Maine, probably a day and a half, maybe 2 days. He goes, well, they said it would take probably 20 days to ship from wherever they're leaving in Maine to wherever the port is in Southeast Asia. And I thought, that
seems pretty quick.
And I
seems
thought,
too quick.
That's insane. But that's what he said. He goes, He goes,
is he going on the ship with his truck?
Yes.
And then he's going to pull out into Southeast Asia and drive around in a truck.
And then if it's me, I'm selling that damn thing and I'm getting on a plane heading back.
I don't know. You might meet
I just
somebody
thought,
there.
what, to be that age, right? To have not a care in the world, not a bill to pay, and you just have that opportunity. I thought, you know what? That's pretty damn cool.
You know what I am, Reavers? Is a cynical person. Because my mind says...
what's he running from?
my mind says he's running to Thailand so he can meet some chick in Thailand with his car. Because hey, I brought my Jeep over here. Not many people have Jeeps. And it might be a lady boy, but he's not going to care. He doesn't even know. He doesn't know what a lady boy is yet.
He ain't scared.
He's not scared. He's 6'7", that kid.
Oh, my God.
Reavers, that's where my mind goes. What nefarious thing is that kid up to?
What's he running from?
I read this book called Origins. Dan Brown. Yep. You know, the guy who wrote, the Da Vinci Code or something. So he wrote this thing called Origins. And it was back in the early 2000s. And the whole concept was trying to disprove religion. This really famous future thinker dies and he's trying to disprove religion, and it goes through this machination of how they're trying to do it. And his disproving of religion was, it doesn't even matter if religion is real, because in a very short time, and he said 2050, but this was back in mid-2000s, that there's going to be fake artificial intelligence that is going to sweep across the world in the fastest way possible, and that by 2050, the human race is going to be the non-consequential race. It will become inconsequential. And he said, if you don't believe that, and you don't believe me about that, well, just think of the glasses that you wear today, but in another day, you'll get an implant in your eye. You'll get an implant into your brain. You'll get a heart defibrillator. So we're already bonding with machinery already, right? This was in 2004. So Dan Brown is thinking this stuff. And I'm sure Dan Brown, if he's still alive, I have no idea, is thinking to himself, wow, I said 2050, but I bet you anything, by 2030, Reavers, life as we know it is going to be totally different. There's going to be benefits to mating with technology, and that's what I'm going to call it now. We're going to mate with technology. But guys like that's running off to Thailand, right? He should be home meeting a girl, having a baby, getting a job, getting his babies.
But maybe he will do that eventually.
It's not time to play. We're trying to save the world.
Okay.
We're trying. I'm not worried. Let me put it this way. I'm just as worried about AI taking over the world as Greta Thunberg is about the threat of global warming.
Got it.
And if she's that passionate about it, I should be passionate.
Dan Brown is still alive at age 61.
So Dan Brown's a young guy. So we should call Dan Brown and say, Dan, you wrote this book called Origins. What did you know? And oh, by the way, are you starting to freak out a little bit now? Because I think you're actually pretty damn right. You're right on the money. I don't think we have much to live for.
Okay.
I mean, it just, am I a little depressed maybe? Maybe I need a little
you know
more
what?
sleep.
I think it's the weather. It's getting to you today. It's
Is
a little
it?
cold, a little
Is
dark
it?
out today.
I don't know. But I mowed yesterday.
Okay.
That was awesome. Right? I did my backyard. It was all and there was leaves on there. I mowed them up, mulched them in. Could not have been a better day. Could not have been a better day.
Brought a smile to your face.
Damn right it did.
Nice.
I sat there in my house and looked out at the yard, Reavers. And I just looked. And I just looked and I
Did you
said,
nod, like give it the, yep.
And I said, is this the best it gets? Is this all I have? My God. You know what the only nice thing is, Reavers?
What's that?
I'm going to tell you. I don't know if you've heard, but the cast of Friends got stranded out at sea. I don't know if you knew this. Not the one that it was. So they were putting. Who's the one who passed away? They were putting some of his ashes.
Matthew
out there.
Perry.
Matt Perry. They were putting some of his ashes out at sea.
Oh.
And the boat broke down, but luckily no one panicked.
Why is that, Mike?
Because Lisa could row.
Wow.
I mean, see, I was so depressed 1 minute ago, and then I told that incredible joke about Lisa Kudrow.
Were you a Lisa Kudrow guy? Were you a Phoebe guy?
She wasn't even my top 5 on that show.
Really?
Oh my God. Would she major? Okay. All right. This is going to cheer me up. Name them.
In order?
Yes.
Oh, it's Jennifer Aniston, number 1. Lisa Kudrow, number 2.
Are you kidding me?
I am not a Courtney Cox guy at all.
What would be wrong with someone who has stunning Courtney Cox?
Sure.
Oh, you didn't like her because she was fat as a kid?
No.
You fattest.
No,
Wow. That is crappy of you.
Honestly, that had nothing to do with it. It's because
Hot as
way,
can be.
way too controlling.
Controlling.
Neurotic.
Clean.
Neurotic. Yeah.
You want to, I feel like having turkey tomorrow night. Boom. She makes a turkey. You know what Rachel's doing? She's painting her toenails. Jennifer Aniston never had children.
She'll get me DoorDash. That's what Jennifer Aniston will do.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, unless she's out cheating around on you. I think she's a cheater.
Courtney
Cox.
She's loyal.
Damn right she's loyal.
Okay.
Phoebe, she wouldn't even make, I'd take Matt LeBlanc before Phoebe.
Wow.
Okay. Or no, let me restate that. Who is Matthew Perry dating? The girl with the voice? Chandler.
Oh, Fran Drescher?
Well, it wasn't Fran Drescher, but it was a woman.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it Fran Drescher?
No, it was like a Fran Drescher-ish character. You got to look it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Out
You
loud.
want to bet on this one?
No, I won't.
Okay, I can't remember what that girl's name
Janice,
is.
right?
Janice.
From
Yeah, I heard
Friends. What the
it
hell
is
was her
not
real
Fran
name?
Drescher.
Janice Hosenstein,
Oh,
played by Maggie Wheeler.
okay. Maggie Wheeler, great actress. 100% I would take her over Kudrow.
The voice alone
Well, that's not her real voice.
would make me want. But that's the bit. That's we're picking characters.
Oh, that's true. Okay, good. Okay, I forgot that we were playing in make-believe here.
Right.
That's a one nice. I wonder if women do this.
Oh, I've been a part of conversations where women do this.
Do you?
100.
Because I always feel kind of guilty where I just rank women based on just random stuff.
In fact, I had to say at one point, I'm right here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can hear everything.
Well, that's because your wife was like,
And
well,
I
he's
didn't
probably
care.
not a dipshit like Chris. You're like, honey, I'm literally
I'm
right
literally
here.
right here. I can hear everything. Anyway.
You know, your wife, although she might have said that, she is wrong because you know why?
Why?
You are the best.
Thank you, Michael. Please do us a favor, rate and review the show wherever you happen to be listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. It helps other people find the show. It helps us out as well, and we appreciate each and every single one of you. His name is Mike Fratelloni. My name is Chris Reavers. Thank you so very much for listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. We'll talk to you again next time, and until then, cheers.
I'm glad you were